Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday. My goodness, it's Thursday. Happy New Year for those of you who I haven't got a chance to say Happy New Year to at this point. And I am excited to connect with you today. I know that this is that time of year when we are definitely thinking about getting things in motion. It is a new cycle, a new year, and I am definitely hoping that you are in the curiosity question of not just what can I do right now, but what can I do for that long term vision of your business? And how can you set it up in a way that it's going to meet those dreams and goals that you have for yourself? Capricorn cycle is a perfect time to be looking at that long term vision and setting up systems and structures that will help you to get there. However, we are still in a time of inward reflection. We have Mercury retrograde, which means our thinking is really inward. We're in review mode. Mars is also retrograde. So, again, we have that inward energy in terms of motivation and will. So, if you're not feeling super motivated right now to get those dreams and visions and goals going, know that this too shall pass and that light is at the end of the tunnel. And there's some things that you can do now to set yourself up for that when it's time, when you feel energized to take action. So I wanted to talk today about how do you set up and create a plan that's going to get that long-term view into focus and get some practical steps in place to ensure that it moves with ease. I think that there is a lot of challenging, what I think is challenging to our being, talk out there about needing to be putting your nose to the grindstone. You got to get in there and get it done and do. We are not machines. We are not meant to be in go mode all the time. And so understanding that and knowing that there are personal energetic cycles and motivational cycles for each of us that are individual. And then there's collective energies, collective cycles that are going to support the work we do in the world if we can tune into them, when we tune into them. And as a part of the collective here, we work to bring those energies to life for you so that you know where those collective energies are now so that you can be working with those energies in your business. So let me walk you through 3 things that I believe are really powerful ways to forge that path to implement that long-term vision. So number 1 is what I think of as a really foundational piece of our planning. And it's something that we can lose sight of. I know early on in my business I did because I got so head down in the doing and the tactics of things. But knowing and how you really want to feel, be, and experience that vision that you've created, if you're choosing to, build out a group program, if you're choosing to bring on more clients in your one-to-one programs, if you're choosing to build out a course and fill it with amazing people, and that by the end of in the next 9 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever that longer term vision is, not for today, not for next week, but a longer term vision, when we can put it, the actions that we take to fulfill that vision, to help that vision come to life through that filter of how we want to be, feel, and experience our world, we are going to take right aligned actions for ourselves. So there could be 10 of us in a room, all with the same vision of, creating a group program that we want to fill with 10 amazing souls. How we get there, how we find those right clients, how we launch that program, what we do to make that happen can be 10 different things depending on each person. And the way we tap into what is the right tactic what is the right method, what is the right structure, is by knowing how we want to feel, be, and experience things. What drives you? What motivates you? For me, it's a lot about the process, the journey, all the things that come before that first session that really drive me. That goal of 10 isn't always the thing that drives me, but how do I want to feel through the process? I want to feel joyful. I want to be able to show up and be my authentic self. I want to experience all the magic that's available to me. So if I am setting up systems and structures to help me get to that point of filling that program, if the things I'm doing, the actual tactics, don't bring me joy, if they stress me out, if they overwhelm me, what's going to happen? I'm going to have a more challenging time reaching that goal and that vision. So I always put this at the top of the page in terms of knowing, and it's on my wall in front of me, that's my filter. So that the decisions I'm making about what I'm doing go through that filter. So that's number one. Number two is honoring your own energy, your own individual flow and cycles. We each have different levels of motivation at different times, different abilities to focus in different ways and times. We're each wired and designed in our own unique way. And so honoring that about yourself, if summertime is a time when you don't want to be working as much, if you're not as focused, if you enjoy traveling, then setting up that long-term plan to honor that. We were working in the lab. I was sharing with the lab members their own personal Mars cycles. Mars, our motivation and our will, so that they could be planning out when those low periods of motivation were, that they could have things in place so that when they hit that point, things could flow. Setting up your business to flow when you aren't at your peak energy or when you need to be away from the office. However that works for you, honoring your own cycles and energies and flow. And there's lots of ways to tap into that. If you are curious and want to dive into some of your own personal cycles, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to be doing some of these kinds of personalized reports for folks over the next couple of months as I'm moving through my own Moonside Planning certification program. But there's some things that we can tap into for you individually and give you that overview, that guidance. But even on your own, just paying attention morning versus afternoon, what times of the year do you have more energy? I used to do a summit in January, and it always depleted me. And now I know why. When I look at the overall energetic cycles, we're in winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's an inward time. It's a reflection time. So having to put all my energy out in the world was against the current of the flow cosmically. So that's number two. Honor your own energetic cycles, your own motivational cycles, your own personal needs to fill your own cup, because, as I always say, a thriving business requires a nourished and happy you. And number three is to tap into those cycles, the collective energies. So as we look to plan and look at the long-term vision, knowing that there are these ebbs and flows collectively, that people are focused on different things at different times. Right now, people are focused on that long-term vision. They're focused on some structures to help support those goals and visions. And when we move into the next cycle of Aquarius, the focus is going to shift. So when you can tap into those cycles, when you can tap into those energies, you can meet your clients where they're at, your potential clients. You're speaking to them where they're feeling things. And we can do that on that macro level where we look at where the sun is and what that big picture focus. We can look at it on a more micro level when we look at the lunar cycles and the moon and the emotions attached to it. We can look at it in these Mercury cycles. There's a lot of ways to look at it. But if you can plug into that energy, plug into those energetics, you can really amplify your ability to connect with potential clients, because you're not talking about Christmas in the middle of July. You're talking about things that they want to talk about at the time they want to talk about it. No matter what your offer is, you're tailoring that conversation to it. And that means that you're going to connect with more ease. You're going to connect with more flow. And that's one of the things that, as my lab members get, is that those cycles, those energetic reports, those energy reports every cycle, so they know, and we can look ahead 3 cycles, 4 cycles ahead, and so they can be planning out. So, and even if you're not in the lab or you don't want to take it to that depth, if you even just think about it from a seasonal perspective, there's lots of different cycles you could play with. But again, marrying it up to your own energy, but thinking about spring, it's that planting of seeds, the getting out, feeling, a bit of movement. Summer, the energy is higher. Fall, what's happening. Think about your ideal clients and what that energetic flow is for them, and how can you meet them where they're at. So, quick recap. As you are looking at planning right now, it's looking at that longer view. It is taking into account where you want to be in the future and really dialing that in and what works for you and what doesn't. So, first piece is really looking at how you want to feel, be, and experience the vision that you're creating. Number 2 is honoring your own personal cycles, knowing when your energy is high, when it's not as high, when you need to be putting more attention on your family or other pieces of your business, so that you can make a plan that honors that. And third, tapping into the collective energies. That's where the magic is. When we are meeting people where they're at with what they're focused on, you can really amplify your results because you're connecting with the right messaging, with the right things at the time that your ideal client, that soul client, potential soul client, is looking for it. So if you want some support, you've got questions about any of this, please reach out to me. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some personalized stuff that I haven't done in a while, and some new versions of it coming up. But if you think it would be really helpful for you to dive into your own personal cycles, message me. Let's see what we can set up there. And if you are curious about the lab and getting into some monthly support and getting those energy reports, message me as well, and we can chat about what that looks like too. All right, my friends, I am wishing you a beautiful rest of your day and much success as you look at your long-term vision. And just a reminder that all it takes is a little bit of heart power. And I will see you soon.